This is worth a visit. The World War II secret base at Charleville. It's only $8 a head to get in. Take your time, lots to read there. It's all about how the Americans set up base here at the World War II. Back in World War II, they converted the Queen Mary to a troop carrier. These are bunks that they had to sleep on. Look how wide they are. Seriously, they're about 500mm wide. Stack 4 high. Some interesting stuff in here. These are some of the soldiers' slang, so you're not going to be able to see it too well on the GoPro, but some of the slang that they use, like this one here, G.I. Jesus, chaplain.
I like the penguin. Penguin is an Air Force service member who doesn't fly.
Behaviour report. Back home to the girl.
Uncle Sam's party is payday. So we headed off this morning from Charlottesville and we're heading to Tambo, and it's getting a lot more grassy out here for the cows to eat. It's very dry by the looks of things, and we've been passing lots and lots and lots of caravans. So caravans are very busy up here at the moment, aren't they?
There's almost everything you see is towing something.
Yeah. There's no cars just driving without a trailer or anything.
Caravans, campers, occasional boat and trucks.
Lots of trucks. So we should be in Tambo shortly.
Half an hour.
Let's see.
Coming up to Tambo, we're about 26 k's south of Tambo.
It's a massive field.
They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Brakes on.
Hang on, start saying it.
So this is the part of the air basin. So Lake Air runs right through this area here. So during the wet season, the water that comes from the north runs down through that basin area there and goes all the way out to Lake Air, which is on the data track in South Australia.
Oh wow. So as we were coming into Tambo, we saw this cool truck. Looks amazing, although, as Jimmy said, looks like it needs some new tires. And the glass is gone. Was this used for anything in particular, or is it just like a bit of art, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit of art.
So what does it say?
Front half of the sculpture was an original freight truck purchased in 1944 and donated by a local trucking company, Johnson Brothers Transport. This body has been cleverly coupled with old steel boxes that have been reclaimed from station dumps around Tambo. Students from Tambo State School sourced the 400 horseshoes that adorn the boxes, creating the illusion of steel wool and adding texture to the artwork.
Very cool. It's not the right side. There's the horseshoes. Very cool. Now we're going across to have a look at the museum. So the museum used to be the old post office and was built in 1876 and now serves as a museum. What does it say, Jimmy?
Built in 1867, or in 1867 they used to leave the post at the pub, and then in 1876 they built this building.
Very nice. So some old telephones for you. How'd you like using those to contact all your customers? There's a switchboard, Nick. You'd have a ball with that, wouldn't you?
Nikki, this is for you and Cedric. This is what the nurseries used to be like in the 1860s and 1870s. So there's your nursing chair there. Like I wouldn't be able to get down onto that and back up again. And that'd be Cedric's bassinet. It's made out of like better than average chicken wire.
And this is what they put the baby in when they're weighing the baby?
That's what they weigh the baby in, it's the scales. And this was from 1873. Imagine having that as your doctor's toolkit there when he's fixing Cedric up. All stainless steel though. And this is what B-Pay looked like in the 1860s. Yeah, so Tambo, not a real big town, but don't just drive through it. It's got a real lot to have a look at when you're here. It's really neat and clean and tidy, and everybody's friendly and helpful. It's a beautiful spot. It's about probably halfway between Charleville and Barcaldine on the Landsborough Highway. But yeah, interesting little town. Sort of started in the 1860s. First pub was built in the 1865 or something like that. Built the post office in about 1875. But yeah, what a great little town.
Woohoo! Just leaving Tambo. It's 23 degrees. Woohoo! I finally got to take my jumper off. Jimmy's even ready to put the air conditioning on.
I got my shorts and I got my safety boots on.
Oh, good job.
And that's me for the next 6 weeks.
So we are coming into Blackall. What do we know about Blackall?
That's where the Black Stump is. Have you ever heard the old saying, beyond the Black Stump?
Yeah.
It's, the Black Stump's in Blackall. I don't know whereabouts, but somewhere around.
Huh?
The Black Stump there, yeah.
Oh, there, we missed it. Jimmy just driving too fast. He goes, oh, there it was. And by then it's too late and we don't get to see it. So bye, Stump.
This is a wayside stop or roadside stop just before Barcaldine. We're going to go into the Lara Wetlands tomorrow, and this is across the road from it, so we thought we'd pull up here and have a look, and it's pretty good. You can just get your van in off the road a little bit, probably, I don't know, 100 metres off the road, and there's a little bit of firewood scattered around, so we're doing some little Outback scenery for you.
It's a Heineken fire.
Yeah. So we found a Heineken box and we pinched a couple of bits of that nice river red gum from Trilby Station, and been carrying that around. So it's warmed up nicely now. It's when we pulled up here it was 23 degrees. So we're almost at the Tropic of Cancer now. I think that's long reach, so probably 700 k's west of here before we hit long reach, and then we'll go on to Winton and then turn north again and head up to Caravan. But we'll have
no jacket.
we'll have a look around here for a couple of days.
Sounds good.
Morning. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a rundown on the repairs that we've had to do so far. So we're only 2 weeks into our trip, and you've got to keep this in mind when you're travelling, that things do break, especially if you're going on corrugated roads. So So far we've had you've probably seen before, the bike rack came off the back of the van, so the bolts up the top pulled out. They only used 30mm screws, so when I had the van made, we got them to put in a 90 by 35 piece of pine right across that top beam there, so we had something to screw through. So that was done, but they only used screws that were that long, so they were barely into the timber. So we put some 50mm screws in that now, so that should be right from now on. But we'll keep our eye on it because corrugations are pretty hard on that. If I ever build another van or buy another van, I won't put the bike rack on the back. I'll put it on the front, because when you're going on dirt roads, the back of the van acts like a big vacuum cleaner, and the dust comes out from the wheels, and it just, as a vortex, gets sucked back into the back of the van. So travelling with the bikes on the back, all that red dust gets into the chain and the gears and just ruins the bike. So when we're on dirt roads from now off, we'll actually take the bikes off here and put them inside the van. A little bit of a nuisance, but you know, next time I build a van, I'll put the bike rack on the front. So we had to get the brakes repaired. We had changed brakes about 3 or 4 months ago and hadn't used the van for a while, and then when we started towing it, it was pulling to one side. So we worked out that the brakes weren't adjusted correctly, so we had to get that done. Paid a guy to do that because I didn't know what I was doing there. Then we've had the Anderson plug, one of the Anderson plugs pulled out and dragged along the ground and destroyed that, so we had to put a new one of those on there. I'd suggest you always carry at least one spare Anderson plug. What else did we do here? Well, we had to reconfigure the way we were holding the solar panel on, so that's now got a solid noodle underneath it, so it stops it vibrating. That works all right. Other thing we had go on us was the gas regulator was leaking, so we had a 9 kilo bottle, only last us about a week, and couldn't work out why. Thought we could get a faint smell of gas, but it took us a while to discover that one of the joining seams on the regulator was leaking, just enough to waste half a bottle of gas. So put a new one of those on. That was, I think that was $80 or $90 for the regulator, but out here a bottle of gas can be $40, so you know, better off to fix it and save the gas. So that's it on the van, I think. Touch wood and nothing break on the car yet. It's got a lot of mud on it from our little track across from Wilcania to Burke, so most of that falls off as it dries up, and no point cleaning it too much before we get to where we're going, because it'll only just build up again. So the old rock toners on the back of the car sort of saves the front of the van a bit. But other than that, we've done pretty well so far. So roadside stop here last night, so we're going across the road to Lara Wetlands this morning, which is about 12 k's in and 12 k's out. But looks like it's going to be another cracker day.
So we're going down the road, the dirt road. We got to it very quickly, and it's been very wet, so it's not looking the prettiest. It's saying here to be careful for camels crossing.
So this is the Lara Wetlands Campsite. Oh, and there's a duck. And as you can see, no overseas travel, so guess where everybody is. There's got to be 100 vans here, and they're in and out every couple of days. So we'll have a bit of a look around later on and we'll show you, but apparently you can swim in this, you can't fish in it. And you can have campfires as long as you keep them in the container. You can buy firewood up at the office for $15 for a wheelbarrow load, or a bit more than that. But it looks like a nice spot and the sun's out. So this is looking at the lake from the other side. So it's yeah, it's really nice here, well maintained and looked after. It's quite sheltered from the wind, although there's a little bit of a breeze today. Little walking track around the outside of the lake, and then they've got kayaks here. If you're game enough, you can use the kayaks for no cost and go for a paddle out in the lake. So you can't actually swim in the lake, but over there is an artesian pool that's actually got 36-degree water in it, and you can swim in that. And they've got a smaller one for the kids with a bit of play equipment in it. But yeah, really nice spot. So we've been for a walk around the lake, and then we called in to see about getting some firewood at the office over here, and the lady said that they're having a barbecue over at the camp kitchen tonight for $20 a head. You can have snakes and eggs and salad and a trifle for dessert. So we thought we'd give the chef a night off from her slaving over a hot stove. And then we thought we'd just come back here and sit and enjoy the view. So, kids are out there in the kayaks having a bit of fun, and yeah, it's quite pleasant here. So Lara Wetlands Campground, it's about 13 k's of dirt road off the highway to get in here, and the dirt road's in pretty good nick, so you'd get a two-wheel drive car or a road going caravan in if you just take it slow. But yeah, about, what is it, 25 k's south of Barcaldine, and then about 13 k's in off the road to the west. But well signed, you can't miss it. But yeah, $25 a night, no power. You got to have your own water and toilet and all that. But they do have actually showers and toilets around the place as well.
And you can buy a cartload of firewood, and they provide the fire pits if you want to have a fire, which is really good.
Cool. But we're going to go over and have a dip in the hot springs when it warms up a bit more.
And they're going to have live music tonight.
Yeah. You don't mind if I film your barbecue there?
No, mate, you can do it. What do you like?
Tell me a little bit about it. It's a pretty good looking setup, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good setup.
Pot of spuds.
Spuds.
Yeah, what have you got in here?
Lara gravy.
Oh, that looks delicious.
Aussie juice.
Oh, yes.
And that'll be steak when I get it.
Ah, beautiful. It's a good pit. And it's an old bulldozer track.
Yeah, no, track, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a great idea.
Yeah,
Keeps the
great.
heat in too.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to eventually do one at home for myself
Yeah, cool.
one of these days.
One of these days. Good on you. Thanks, mate. So we were approaching the end of the day at Lara Wetlands, and I was just sitting over here. We were about to have some dinner and a bit of entertainment. And I looked across here and I just thought, the way the sun's shining on all those vans, it's just amazing. I had a bit of a quick count earlier on today, and there's about 90 vans here. I reckon there's a few more come in since then. So there's easy 100 vans a day come in here. But great spot, no flies, no bugs. There's so many birds here that I think the insects just can't compete. The brochure said there's 127 different species of birds here, and they're all obviously getting enough to eat. But yeah, what a great spot. Bit of entertainment. There's an old fella here going to play some country and western music for us tonight. And we've gone for the camp barbecue, which is $20 a head. Some steak and sausages and veggies and a bit of salad and a bit of trifle after that. So yeah, money well spent.
swag he comes in, smothered in dust and fly. He throws down his rope and one sweat from his eye. But when he is told, he says, what's this I hear? I've got 50 claiming mine, filled hot with no beer. There's a dog on the veranda for his master he waits, but the boss is inside, drinking wine with his mate.
So just up here on the left is the entrance to the dinosaur museum, or what did they call it? Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum. So that's it, just down there. It's quite a steep hill to climb up with the caravan on, but we've done it twice before, so we don't need to see that again. But if you're ever down this way, you really should have a look. It's great for the kids. It's got all sorts of things that you can do, and you can get a coffee. If you go really early in the morning, it's bloody cold though.
So got a little bit of disappointing news. So we're staying in Winton, and Winton's a nice little town in sort of the western part of the Outback Queensland. And I think this is our 4th time here, and 3 times out of the 4 we've stayed here at the Winton Hotel. So I'll just go on the other side of the road so I can give you a little bit of a look at the hotel. So one thing I like about these country towns is the roads are nice and wide, so not like the new estates in Melbourne. So the Winton Hotel, it's a great little pub, and the people who own it are Joanne and Kevin, or they call themselves Joe and Big Kev. So Joe was a breast cancer sufferer, and for years they've been encouraging caravanners to stop in, and they'd let them stay at the back here for free, on the understanding that they spend a few dollars in the pub and make a donation to one of their charities. And they've been doing a lot since about, as far as I know, 2018 for you know, breast cancer and men's mental health, and a few of the local groups as well. But this is a great little pub, and out here even in the middle of winter. So today's, you know, what are we now, I think about the 10th of July, so smack in the middle of winter. It's 28 degrees and just beautiful, you know. It doesn't rain much here, unfortunately, but you know, there's no place you'd rather be in the middle of winter. So this paddock out the back here is what they used to have the caravans stay on, and they could get quite a few vans out the back here. As you can see, it's, you know, probably 3 acres of land, and they've been going backwards and forwards with the council for about 3 years now, and spending their own money to put in planning applications and all the rest of it. And it's got to the point now where they've just spent enough of their own money. They're not getting anywhere with the council, so unfortunately this will be no more. So there won't be any more free camping here for caravanners on the road, which is a shame. This weekend now you've got about 9,000 people leaving the Big Red Bash in Birdsville, and there'll be quite a few of them come through here, and they would have willingly stopped in here and had a feed at the pub and spent a few dollars over the bar, and given a contribution to the charities that Joe and Kevin support. But because of bureaucracy and red tape and the normal bullshit you get from government bodies, that won't happen anymore. So it's a real shame, a real pity. So if you're ever coming through Winton, call into the Winton Hotel and have a beer with Joe and Kevin, and you know, show your appreciation for them supporting the charities that they do.